Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome. I'm Jeff. I'm in charge of product management, and we have a special guest today.
Yeah, I'm Tino. I do products here. So I'm responsible for all products at SteelSeries. So yeah, very excited to be here for something like this. I never get to do these.
No, and Tino's
It's awesome.
Tino's the original. He's our CTO, and he's been here for 15 years.
Yeah, 15, 16 years. So
Yep.
chances are, if you've used a SteelSeries product, I've had my little hands on it at some point in time. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So thanks for joining us for the AMA today. We're here to talk about the Apex M750, which I'm sure you've heard that we launched this past Tuesday on the 15th. We're very proud of this latest keyboard. You know, it's our newest entry for our mechanical esports gaming keyboard line. It's got you know, an aluminum core and a beautiful matte black finish. We've got our newest Qx2 mechanical switches and a suite of brand new engine apps that we've just launched that give some pretty cool integrations with stuff such as Discord. Yeah, so let's fire away.
Let's see. How do we get the shot of this guy up again?
Oh yeah, I feel like.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
I probably should have started it off like this.
Yeah.
And we could have said, this week's Fireside Chat with Tino and Jeff.
Yep. So pretty cool stuff. This, right? So what's running here is it's just a GIF.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew we were gonna do GIFs on keyboards at any time, right?
Yep.
So
yeah.
But that's obviously that's one of the features. I mean, we can talk a little bit about some of the features on the keyboard here. Should we do that?
Yeah, I mean, we can start while we're talking about the GIF. Let's start with that. I got to give Tino some credit here. It was actually his idea. You know, as we were brainstorming on how to do something different for lighting and illumination effects, you know, we've in the past had ways to create your own lighting effects. And we felt like, as intuitive as our software was, we wanted to do something completely different. So anybody could create their own lighting effect in a matter of seconds, minutes. And Tino said, well, what about animated GIFs? So imagine somebody going on Giphy or whatever, searching for something, importing to the software, and bam, it's on there. And that's kind of where the idea came from.
Yeah.
So engineers worked a lot of times on this. There's been a lot of interesting GIFs that we've tested this with. But this Fireside one is actually one of the presets that we launched SteelSeries engine with in the Image Sync engine app.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing about using something as GIFs, I mean, we've done a lot of stuff where you could program your own effects, right? And we see other guys in the market that can program their own effects and all that stuff. It takes a lot of work. Normally, it takes a lot of work. The good thing about GIFs is that they are abundant. There are a lot of them in the world. They're really easy to get, and you get stuff that would be really hard to program your way out of. I mean, some of the stuff that we're showing, like in some of the videos and stuff like that, that stuff would be insanely hard to program your way around, right? But using a GIF that's been done in some crazy application, people use After Effects and stuff like that to do some of these cool GIFs. Getting that onto keyboard, that's amazing. It's such an easy way of getting insanely cool effects onto your keyboards.
Yeah, and then there's cool features when you import the GIF into the engine app. There's some really easy to use tools. Cropping, so you can, if you find an awesome GIF that you love and it's a rectangle, you can crop it to be the right aspect ratio of the keyboard. You can control the contrast and the brightness.
Sure.
Because obviously GIFs with higher contrast show up, better, cooler on the keyboard. So really interesting stuff. So one of our first questions is, are any of the new engine integration stuff rollback to older products?
This is RSQ Vibrant Switch.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. So our M800, which we've had out for a few years, our other individually controllable RGB per key keyboard, Image Sync is supported on that. Plus, we're a huge partner with MSI, so our technology is in their gaming laptops for our keyboards and lighting control. So there's a few gaming laptops out right now that have per key illumination. You've probably seen some of them, with some of them have the mechanical switches.
Mm-hmm.
That is supported as well. The other engine apps that we'll talk about that we just launched, Discord integration, that is supported on any Prism enabled SteelSeries product. So essentially anything with RGB.
Sure. Yeah. So not just keyboards, but any product, right?
Yep.
And obviously for some of the mice, like the 700, there's some really cool stuff with OLED screens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. So if you get a message, a Discord notification, you can have it set up so your keyboard blinks, flashes a few times in whatever color you want, and stays at that color. You can have your Rival 500 or your Rival 700 buzz with the haptic notification, and you can even have the message of who wrote it to you and what the message is will show up on your OLED screens. That's really cool.
Yep. Haptic is really important, I think, for that. I mean, this is really useful. Stuff like what we're doing here, this is just blingy, right? This is just showing off. And there's nothing wrong with being blingy, but I like useful stuff as well.
Yeah.
So the stuff we're doing with Discord, I'm super happy about having that integration.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the third engine app that we just launched is the Audio Visualizer.
Yep.
Probably one of the most oft requested features on our subreddits, our Facebook, any social media, customer support tickets. So we've added that, and that is supported again on any of our per key RGB products. So the M800 has it as well as the M750.
Yep.
And a couple of our MSI laptops.
Yeah.
So that was a long answer. Yes.
There was a very long answer. Sure. All right. Let's get some more questions. What else? Should we talk about some other stuff on the keyboard? Just in general?
Sure.
Obviously, this is SteelSeries next generation mechanical keyboard, right? So and
talk about maybe design first.
Yeah, exactly. So RGB, right? Design wise, we're sticking to the design lines that we had from the original Apex keyboards, from the first Apexes and also the M800 for sure. Mm-hmm. So you'll see a lot of that same design go throughout this. It's pretty sleek, I would say. We've taken some of the sizes are a lot smaller in this one than it is on M800, right? This is a much tighter design. And then it has, I mean, it's become kind of the the way that mechanical keyboards look these days. This design with having top-mounted keys. So we've gone that route as well. It goes for a very sleek and simple looking product, right? Yeah. And also this way we get some really nice illumination effects. And illumination is, I mean, it's fairly simple, right? You have an LED under each key, but the choice of LED and the way that the LED is actually shooting that light through the keycap, that's pretty important.
Yep.
And what we have in these guys is we have an LED that's mounted very close to the top. So obviously you can take out these keycaps if you want. Can you maybe look at this, right? So our LED here is mounted very close to the top of the keycap, so we get a lot of illumination in these. So there, I mean, it shines a lot, right? As opposed to some of the other switch types in the world where you would have an LED mounted very close to the bottom, and you're not getting as much light through as we're getting on these.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do we go?
Another question again. They must have missed the first part. Does the Discord app work only with the M750? Nope. Works with all of our Prism-enabled products, so anything with RGB.
Sure.
Including headsets, keyboards, mice.
Yep.
Mouse pads.
Yep.
And it also utilizes other features such as the OLED screen and haptic notifications.
Yep. Then there's a question on the switches in here. Yep. And the question says, how is it different from the Qx1 switch that's in M800? Pretty big differences. On M800, what we did was with the Qx1 was we wanted to do a switch that had insanely low actuation points and very low travel distance in general. Essentially, we had been building keyboards with the MX style switches for many years, right? Since 2006 or something like that. Yep. So we felt that it's time that we try to see whether the market is open and ready for getting other switches out there. So we spent a lot of time on designing the QX1. It came out. I think it was fairly well received for sure. It has a very distinct feel, and it's not an MX feel. It feels different, right? And what we learn is that there's definitely a lot of people that love that feeling. So we've sold a lot of M800s, so we're happy. But at the same time, there is just MX style switches has been around for a very long time, and people are used to using those things. So when we decided to do switches for 750, we knew that we were going to do MX style switches again. So we started up with that notion, hey, it's going to be MX. What are the properties around it? We love linear. We've been like a linear switch company forever, and we love that feeling. So this is still a red style linear switch as the QX1, but it has different properties, right? It's an MX style, so it works with MX style keycaps. So
if you like aftermarket keycaps,
exactly,
it'll work with us perfectly.
Yeah. And also, switch throw distance and actuation points are different than they are in QX1, right? This is a more traditional style switch. Yep.
So M Diggs asks, any plans for a 10 keyless mechanical RGB keyboard? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Any plans?
We've never had that request before.
Yeah, so 10 keyless keyboards have obviously become pretty successful. I don't know, successful. They're definitely popular with a certain type of user, right?
Yep.
If you look at it all in total, it's not a super successful product. They're not normally super successful products, but for that certain type of user, yeah, it's really a great product, right? So I don't know what we can say. I mean, yeah, those users out there, and I think that we like to cater to all types of users. So let's see. Could be.
I'd probably respond to you with a meme if I was on social media right now. Okay.
Durability. Durability. So there's a question here. How is the durability? And my guess is that it's a question on mainly the switch durability.
I mean, there's a
Right?
couple components to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely talk about the switches. And also, there is a choice that we went with a Series 5000 aluminum. Um, a lot of it was part of the design aesthetic, a really sleek look, and we did a kind of an understated matte uh, black finish, which is great. But the bigger reason for that was the durability aspect. So, I mean, I think as everybody is aware at this point, aluminum is extremely strong, durable, and also lightweight. So having that as the core, as the base of what the switches sit on top, is huge for durability. The second part of the switches themselves, I mean, obviously one of the key reasons why somebody would choose a mechanical gaming keyboard would be around feel. They love the feel of the switches, but another one is, of course, durability. And so these are no different. These are rated for 50 million clicks.
Yep.
There's some other aspects about the Switch. I don't know if you want to talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I think for the true like Switch aficionados out there, they would. I mean, they're gonna take this apart and obviously look at what's inside and how stuff like this is done. So the thing is, when we do mechanical, when us or any of our esteemed colleagues in the business do mechanical keyboards, when we choose switches, we always go with none of us build our own switches. We always go out and partner with the companies that are really good at building switches. So you'll have heard some of the names, right? There's Cherry and there's Kiowa and there's Gatoron and there's a couple of other Greetech and there's a couple of companies that work on building switches. On this one, again, the true Switch aficionados will crack this open and see that this is built by Gatoron, and
Yep.
I mean you can tell on the Switch. It's not one of the switches that Gatoron has in their regular roster. It's a switch that we've worked with them on. It's based on some of the stuff that they had already, but with some modifications.
Yep.
So you're going to see that the specs themselves are pretty comparable to some of the switches they have in their regular roster, but there's definitely some changes that are in there. It's been interesting working on a new switch. I mean, we spent a lot of time working on Qx1. We spent almost as much time working on 2. Um, it's been an interesting process, and there's definitely a lot of stuff that we've worked on the insides to get to the point where we are right now. I think what we have is we have something that is extremely smooth now.
Yeah.
I think some of the material choice of the parts in the switches, I think is crucial for sure. I mean, we use very durable. It's a Japanese compound. It's called Duracon, like the compound that's inside the stem and all that.
Yeah.
That some of those material choices just makes for a really really good switch that we're very very proud of.
Yeah. Definitely. We're getting a lot of people getting questions on type tests and generally how loud is it. So I guess there's.
Type it.
Hold on. Let me. Yeah.
Let's see. Are we gonna break something if I type? It's a red style switch,
Yep.
right? Reds are generally not that noisy
Yep.
at all, right? And the tolerances on these switches are pretty tight, so we don't have a lot of excess noise. Sometimes you would have excess noise both from the switch, but also from some of the support points and stuff like that you have. I
Yep.
think in this one. We've really worked on getting all the supports to work very silently, and obviously the switch is just very smooth. So yeah, that's
Yep.
kind of what it sounds like.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then the casing itself is, as I said, the casing is very tight, right? It's very tight around the electronics that's inside, so we don't have a lot of resonance from just space
Yep.
inside the case, right?
Yep.
Actually, we're getting a question here. How does this compare to the old Apex gaming keyboards? I like it, but in certain respects, it takes up a lot of desk space.
So
The old one, right?
yeah, so probably talking about could be an Apex 350, could be even the M800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them, right? 350 is a lot bigger. M800 is still a little bit big. This is a lot smaller. It's a lot tighter in every aspect, right? So if you look at these sides, there is very little space
Yeah.
on the side here. Front and back is very tight as well. Where a 350, for instance, here, this part, oh, we're really fuzzy. There you go. On a 350, we probably have a good 5 centimeters,
Yep.
like 2 inches or something like that.
Yep.
In the front, and this is so much tighter than anything else.
Yeah, we really wanted to go for a streamlined layout, one that minimized desk space but still offered a full-size layout.
Sure. What else do we get? Does it have a USB pass-through port? Nope. The 750 does not have a USB pass-through. It's one of the things when you design a product, you always have to figure out, okay, what makes sense for this product at this price point.
Yeah. And we really went, everything is a decision. Every element of the product cost is a decision, and we really wanted to focus on the design, the materials, the durability, the performance. We felt that was worth more to the gamers that buy our products. So that's why we really focused on aluminum finish and the Qx1 switches.
Sure. How does it? There's a question here. How does the key field differ from a 7G? So 7G, it depends a little bit. I think that we've had both MX Black and Reds of 7. Maybe we only had 6GV2s actually in red. Anyway, the original 7G is an MX Black switch. The Qx2 here is more comparable to an MX Red. So if you look at the specs, it's essentially it has 45 centronewtons of force and all that stuff, like a Red. So this is way more comparable to a Red.
So it'll be, for somebody that doesn't know blacks and reds and all that stuff, it'll be lighter, definitely lighter.
It's lighter.
Yep.
It's definitely lighter, but it's still a linear switch, right? Yep. So it's still this non-clicky linear type switch that we have in there.
It's definitely smoother. I think that was something that was really important when we first approached Gatoron to work on this. I think that was one of the things the mechanical gaming enthusiasts had really started to love the Gatoron switches. So as we approached them, we started to fall in love with it as well with how smooth that operation is. And how much that really was a great feel for gaming. Yeah. So it definitely will be a little smoother as well.
But there's a lot of Switch aficionados out there, and exactly as you're saying, Gatoron is one of the companies that we see now in the mechanical keyboard community that is picking up. This is what people really like these days.
Here's a question. So I see 2 questions about engine apps working together. So yes, I think one of the important things about our engine apps and ecosystem was that you could actually use multiple engine apps at the same time. So a classic example is the Discord app. I mean, that's very commonly, obviously somebody would be using Discord while gaming. So they wanted to be able to configure to have notifications while still using GameSense in CSGO or Dota 2. So as long as you configure different keys, you'll have no issues. You could have your numpad be configured to give you an alert. You could, if you're using a Siberia 840 or your Rival 700, you could have haptic notifications and messages on who's talking configured as well, while you're also having the keyboard show your ammo, your health, your kill count, headshots, all of that. There is a specific question around Prism Sync. So Prism Sync will take over the whole keyboard because the nature of Prism Sync is cross-device lighting. So some specific engine apps whose their entire purpose is to have a lighting effect go across, that of course would take over, so you wouldn't have your Discord notifications on top of that. But the majority of engine apps do work together, yes.
All right. Getting a question here. Can you basically change the GIF from the keyboard, right? just to see some other stuff. So let's see. Do we have some? I think we
So
have some stuff in here.
Yeah,
right?
we won't be doing a screen share,
Yeah,
but
unfortunately we can't do a screen share. But we should be able to. Would you do the honors with the?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Let's just see.
Let me make sure that this is
There you
over
go.
the.
You got it there.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. What are we gonna do? Something crazy.
Do the beach one if you want. And just hit apply.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
There's your beach. Let me pull back a little bit so you can see. So pretty simple.
There's a beach. Let's see, what else do we have in store here? We have some crazy stuff. This guy right here. Updating. There you go.
Yeah,
So I mean,
this was actually a GIF one of our front-end developers made.
Jeff, you can show the screen, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's what the original GIF of this one looks like.
All right. It was actually created in CSS.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
Sorry about the camera quality there, guys.
Yeah, that's potato. Yep. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? How do you clean and maintain this keyboard? Well, like most other keyboards, right? It's not a waterproof keyboard, right? But damp cloth, same as everything else. It's a really durable surface we have on the aluminum, right? It's an anodized surface we have on there, so super durable. So cloth, damp cloth. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
What does it say? What's this aluminum case? Well, yeah, you can pan out and look at it. So what we have is we have one single big piece of aluminum that's bent into shape. It's not molded. It's actually bent into shape. It's a series 5000 type aluminum we're using. So that's an alloy that consists of aluminum and mainly magnesium as well, to give it both durability and both strength and also the right weight. And then we get the right feeling on the top as well. So it's sandblasted and anodized.
Okay. Oh, looks like we just had a connection issue.
I want to get that fireplace going again. I like that. There we go.
It's a commercial break.
Okay, let's see. We have some more stuff. When are you adding more games to GameSense? Very good question. Very good question. All the time, I would say. Let's see. We have we're working with a lot of different developers on getting integration, right? The last one we had was.
So we just announced support, and it shipped with 3.11. Gigantic.
Yep,
integrated.
Yeah.
We've also we're trying to support the indie developer community as well, Utopia 9.
Sure.
And we do have some upcoming games as well that we can't really talk about yet. But yeah, I mean, we are always trying to work with publishers and developers to integrate with our products via the GameSense API.
Let's see. What else do we have? Should we look at the... just take a look at some of the illumination effects or something.
Yeah. So we've had a request to see some of the illumination effects. So I'll go back to kind of a a wave mode. So this is a standard out of the box. You know, if you don't configure anything, you'll get a nice color shift wave going across the keyboard like this. And then you also have the ability to customize your reactive typing effects. So when you press a key, you can do stuff, you know, such as ripple.
So this one's a ripple. Let's see, what else do we have? Hexagons, fade.
Yep. So that's like a single one, fades from color A to B.
Yep. There's a couple of other interesting effects.
It's called hexagon.
Hexagon.
So it does like a hexagon outside.
Hexagon.
Yep.
Yep. And you can choose. I mean, you can show the screen as well. You can choose things like the speed of that effect and stuff like that. So it's all just basic SteelSeries Engine 3 interface and all that. So it's exactly what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else do we have? Any of these are interesting? Well, there's a lot of pretty cool effects in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Stop it.
What?
Oh, it looks like we have to restart this stream, so we'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be right back.
Perfect. Yep.
Just hit stop stream.
And we're back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Okay, so we're back. So we've got, looks like, some new viewers that are asking about the keys again, if they're tactile or linear. Mm-hmm. So these are linear.
Yeah, linear switches, reds or blacks, kind of, but these are reds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What else do we have? Other questions?
Musley wants to know, why do dogs do a little twirl before they lie down to sleep?
Yeah, why do they, Jeff?
I don't know, fearless CTO. You should have all the answers. I'd love to hear what you come up with.
I don't know. I do a little twirl before I go down to sleep.
Okay, maybe too much information.
Maybe I'm a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We should have macro keys on the side. Any chance there may be one in the future with the setup macro keys? I mean, there's a chance of all kinds of products. For now, we've chosen to go with a super standard layout, right? Obviously, you can program any key to do whatever you want here. And I know that a lot of people have started programming things like insert and home and stuff like that, and using those as macro keys instead.
Yep.
I think that's a nice way of doing it.
Yep. Okay.
What else do we have? What layouts?
So right now we have the US layout, we have a UK layout, we have a French layout, and a Nordic layout, of course.
Nordic.
Yes.
Because I'm Danish, so obviously.
So it's a requirement.
Sure. Let's see. Keys are smooth or rough. The keys are smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. We opted for pretty smooth. Type texture on these. Sure. Can you detach the cable from the keyboard is the question. No, the cable in the 750 is not detachable.
Yep.
It has a pretty big, very solid strain relief in there.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the points we see breaking on keyboard. So we made sure that this is just going to be safe, secure. So it's a pretty big strain relief that's in there. Let's see. Hey, while you're doing that, there's another question here. Can you show the back of the keyboard?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we can. Let's see what this unit actually is. All right. Cool. So this is what the back looks like. It's a pretty simplistic design, as you can see, right? We have only a little glossy area in the middle where we have like the little product label and that, and then we have. Let me just see if I can hold it up without stopping the stream or anything.
I think you're fine.
All right. So what we have is we have the feet. We need to get the video. We need to get the camera on there. We probably need the keyboard for this. There we
go. Okay.
All right. So if you show off, can you show off here? Okay.
Yeah.
So what the keyboard has is it has detachable feet like the M800 essentially.
Yep.
The design is a little bit different, so we now have like a little release tab here, and the feet are a little bit different. So it comes with two different heights of feet, and they're just inserted. So it has a little hook in the front and a little release tab. So it's kind of in some way a little bit awkward precision to put that in. I need to get it over here, but let's see. I'm opening all kinds of apps here when doing this. But it's the same kind of foot setup as the M800.
Yep. Yes, you can use aftermarket keys. So these are compatible. So it's MX style compatible with the same stems and everything. So any MX compatible aftermarket key set will work. That was a very conscious choice. I mean, it's definitely something that we love the ability to use aftermarket keycaps, and so do a lot of our gamers were requesting that.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that's one of the feedbacks we had on 800, right?
Yeah.
Is, hey, we love the feeling, but we also love to be able to customize this stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why we chose MX style.
Does the W have a tactile indicator? No. So we just have the normal bumps.
F and J.
The F and J.
Yeah. F and J. So very standard. Very, very standard. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, there's a question on mouse pads. Let's talk about mouse pads for a second. Someone's asking, what the best cheap mouse pad is. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you define as cheap, but I mean, QCKs. QCKs are obviously our most budget-friendly mouse pad. QCKs have been around for a very long time and has shown just a really good track record. We're really proud of those. We're really proud of those being one of the first guys out there to actually set up production of gaming grade natural rubber mouse pads, right? Because there was a lot of mouse pads back then, but gaming grade is very different.
Yeah.
Making sure that you get a really smooth surface, nothing bumpy, nothing like that. That took a lot of time for us in the beginning. So, but QCKs.
And you have a wide range of options. QCK Black would be kind of a standard size. You can go all the way up to the double XL, which will be an entire desk pad. You can start to go more premium. QCK Limited has some great stitching on the edges and a nice design. And of course, we always are offering really cool kind of custom mouse pads as well for some publishers and games that are coming out. When does it go on sale? Assuming you're asking about the M750, it is already on sale. You can find it on steelseries.com.
Yep. What else do we have? Another question on layouts. Is an Italian layout planned? There's no. You're not going to see an Italian layout this year.
Right.
Whether it will be available next year, and when, I can't really. We can't really tell right now. It depends on a lot of different factors.
Right. Is the keypad detachable on the keyboard? Nope.
Nope. It is a standard layout keyboard with a standard keypad on there.
Yeah.
I assume it's the numpad area we're talking about.
Yeah. And
we have some more people asking whether it's waterproof. No, it's not a waterproof keyboard. It's but again, a damp cloth in order to clean it is fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't be pouring any Mountain Dew in there, please. Let's see. Will you guys? So there's more mousepad questions. Will you guys ever make a larger DeX? That's a good idea.
No, it is a good idea.
So, with any good ideas, yeah, that's definitely a possibility, I would say.
Yeah. Getting some questions around the aluminum alloy. So, as we mentioned earlier, this is a Series 5000 aluminum, which means it's made of 95% aluminum, 3% magnesium.
Magnesium, yeah.
And 2%
other kind of stuff. There's beryllium. There's a bunch of different types of materials in there.
And this is the same type of aluminum, kind of meets the specifications that is kind of aircraft grade as well.
Yep.
They'll use.
Yep. Exactly, because for aircraft, it's really important for the weight, weight and strength, of course.
Yeah.
And we need the same properties. We want this to be really strong because again, this is a pretty simplistic build-up, right? It has essentially an aluminum plate and a plastic casing that goes under it. So it's important that that aluminum plate has the strength. And by the way, what you don't realize is that this, it's an aluminum plate, but there's 104 holes in it, really big holes, which means that the actual part that's aluminum, it's thin.
Yeah.
So it's super important that we have the strength that we need.
Yep.
Let's.
We got some more questions on a sound and typing test. I'll try to zoom in the camera as well, so you guys can kind of see the switch in action. We got a 4mm.
Yeah, 4mm throw and 2mm actuation point, right? So when you reach 2mm is when it actuates.
Yep.
What else can we say about these guys? boom, 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 boom. I think it has. I mean, so we're talking about these 4 millimeters and 2 millimeter actuation. 2 millimeters. There's always a little bit of tolerance on, is it exactly 2 millimeters or is it plus minus something? And Gatoron, that's also one of the reasons why we chose to work with these guys, are definitely some of the guys in the market that has the lowest tolerances. So when we say 2 millimeters, it is as close to 2 millimeters as we can get in the market right now.
Yeah. Can you program every LED? Yes, you can. So I think one of the interesting things that we really tried to achieve with this in terms of lighting was, of course, this is individually controllable per key RGB. You can do, you can make your own individual palette of colors. You can choose and customize some of your own preset lighting effects. And I think the wonderful thing about this is that whatever you choose, that lighting effect will be saved on board. So you can bring with you to your friend's house, to LAN, whatever. But then we went beyond that, and somebody else is asking about the GG animation in the product video. So that isn't some fake marketing rendered thing. You can do that. In fact, that was a playback of the GG animated GIF that somebody in the office made.
Yep.
So you would use one of our new engine apps called Image Sync.
Sure.
Which is,
let's you know what? Let's make sure that we get that GIF out there, just so that because there's nothing fake in that. Yep. It is the GIF. So let's make sure that we can that we share that GIF.
Yep, for sure. And the way Image Sync works is you can create your own animated GIF, or you can search online, find anything that you want, and you import it using one of our newest engine apps called Image Sync. And you import it, and you get some great controls. You can crop it, so it's the same aspect ratio. You can flip it. You can adjust the contrast, brightness, and instantly you hit save, and boom, it's playing on your keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Should we talk some more on Discord? There's a question here whether we can explain some more on the Discord integration.
Sure. Yeah, so the Discord integration is we partnered with Discord to integrate with them and to really show what would qualify as desktop notifications. So if you're using Discord and you're in your settings of your Discord app, and whatever set is a desktop notification is something that GameSense can grab a hold of and show on our devices. So it will work with any Prism Sync, Prism-enabled SteelSeries product, so essentially anything with RGB. It also works with our OLED screens and the Rival 700 and Rival 500, how they have haptic notifications as well. So you could, if somebody DMs you, if somebody, does a chat to all in a channel that you're in, you can set those and customize those, configure those notifications. They can be different RGBs, they can be different haptic events. You can have them flash a couple times. You can customize it on your OLED screen to show who sent you the DM and what the message is. You can also have it set to show your own mute status. So you can, if you mute yourself, you can have it show red. I get yelled at a lot because I forget to mute myself, and somebody tells me I'm still talking. They can hear me in Discord. You can have it set to show like a binary value of on/off if your own audio is being heard through the app. You can also have it do for every single person in your chat room. So if you're in a Discord, if you're in a lobby or something and a bunch of people are chatting, it will auto assign. Let's say there's 10 people, 1 through 10, according to how they've been, how the order that they entered the room. You can customize them at different colors, so you can see who's talking. Even the OLED screen will have the person's name, a little talking animation to let you know that Tino's talking to me right now in Discord. So maybe I should put back on my headset, hear what's going on.
Okay, we had a question on whether we could show off the
audio visualizer.
The audio visualizer. So that's actually, let's just see.
Yeah. So let me.
Can you maybe see that maybe from the top?
And you can customize this. So set the background to black for the camera.
Yeah. Let's go
all the way down at the bottom.
Black. All right.
Okay.
Actually, you can show the screen as well, right? So we have some pretty insane effects for that. So that's one of them. This is a radial color shift. Mm-hmm. Let's try some thing. There's a bunch of these, and if you pan to the keyboard, I mean, this is the effects that you get. Let's see, what else we have. Let's just do
green. And you can even
green,
control
right?
the amplitude scale. So if you lower it down, you can see how it displays. Obviously, you can't hear the music right now, but you get the picture.
Yep. We have some other stuff. I know the way, and you can show that as well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so controlling the amplitude, all that stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't hear this. This is obviously very ghastly.
Of course.
But we don't have speakers. Yep. So that's how the audio visualizer works, and it works on any content, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yep. So you have it for music playing. You have it for your game audio. Another really cool feature that you can do in the configuration window for the M750, where you would customize your lighting effects, your key bindings. We've got some cool additional things that you can do. So we've always had the ability to bind on any of our keyboards or mice, the ability to launch applications, to launch different profiles and configurations across device. That's always been one. So one of the nice things we added as well was the ability to launch engine apps and toggle them. So you could be in the middle of a game, you could be playing with your buddy next to you, or you could be streaming, and you could win that match, you could lose, so you can hit a quick button to toggle the image sync to play the GG GIF. You can toggle it again to go back off to your lighting effect. You can toggle on and off with one single button to do the audio visualizer, turn it on and off. So some pretty cool stuff.
Sure. Hey, one thing I'm not sure whether this camera can actually make it over here, but just talking about the audio visualizer, right? Because we have this effect going on not just on the keyboard, but so here's a QCK Prism, right? So we have that audio visualizer is now going on the QCK Prism as well. Yeah, and the mouse, by the way.
So here it's showing on the QCK Prism and on the mouse as well. We can't do the full spectrum like we can on a keyboard, but you can again customize this. So we have your left channel and your right channel. So it's a peak meter.
Yep.
And I believe here we just did a single peak meter.
I think it's just a single
so like
from
high to low. It's hard to tell right here.
Red to green. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Do we have more questions here? Can this keyboard make coffee?
Somebody could make an engine app, maybe.
Yeah, maybe someone could make an engine app. Oh, wait, Ray Gasly died. Well, he didn't die, but the video died. All right,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
How much is it?
139 US
$139.
dollars.
Yeah.
Is it as sturdy as the 6GV2? That thing was built like a tank. So somebody remembers. I mean, this is the guy right here that created the 6GV2.
It was built like a tank. It
Yeah.
was super heavy. 6GV2 has it's not an aluminum plate. It's a steel plate that's inside. And I mean, but on the other hand, it's just a flat steel plate. So I think in general, yeah, I don't know. We haven't run trucks over the 750 yet. We actually did that with the 6GV2.
Yep.
But all I can say is that this aluminum alloy that we're using it's super strong as it is. It's not as heavy as a 6GV2 is, just because it is aluminum. It's not a steel plate that's in there, but it's strong. We haven't run a truck over it yet. What else do we have? Can you set up each layout?
Layout for each game.
For each game?
Yeah,
sure.
And in SteelSeries Engine, you can set it to auto-launch your different configs based on the focus. So if you're alt-tabbing between games, it'll auto-deploy your different configuration.
Yep.
Did you remove the headphone jack and the USB hubs? This is similar to a question we had earlier. Yes, there is no headphone jack, and there is no USB hub in that. And so sorry to repeat the answer for those that have been on the whole time. But yes, I mean, we really, really wanted to focus here on materials and the switches. So we made a conscious decision to really come to market with the Series 5000 aluminum in that nice, black, flat black matte finish, and really focus on our new Qx1 switches that we developed with Gatoron.
Yep.
One of my favorite questions. How can I get my beer to look as good as Tino's? I would argue age and wisdom.
Age.
Wisdom.
Yeah, age. They call me Graybeard around here.
Yep. Okay. So one last question. What's the difference between the Apex M750 and the Apex M650?
Sure, good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Good question, and I'm really happy somebody actually asked that. So, as some of you guys might know, we did have a product out, or do have a product out called the 650. It was launched in China and Southeast Asia.
Yep.
I think it made it around to a couple of countries other than that, but those were the primary countries. There are definitely some differences between 650 and 750. They might look very much the same on the outside, and sure, we reused a bunch of the mechanical parts, so all like the housing and stuff like that is reused. There are some very notable differences because as it might look the same, but everything on the inside is new.
Okay.
Everything on the software side is brand new for 750 as well. On the Switch side, the 650 does have what became the QS2. It started out as the Gatoron Switch, but from when we did 650 to what's in the 750, there was a lot of tightening on the specifications that we had on the Switch. So it feels different. Definitely, you're going to feel the Switch is smoother. And then there's the whole software aspect, right? Where 750 has like the full software package. Because the guts of it are new, they can actually do this. The 650 engine, or the engine that's inside the keyboard wouldn't be able to pull stuff like this off.
Yeah.
But good question.
Okay. That's it. We are out of time.
Oh yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining the AMA. Thank you, OG, Sir Tino, CTO.
OG, Graybeard.
Creator of everything.
Thanks,
that
I'm
our
happy
fans
to.
have loved. Maybe we can make this a more frequent occasion.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully.
We're really proud of the M750, so if you get a chance to check it out, please do. There's a lot more information on steelseries.com. A lot of great videos we've created showing off the applications that we've made. Really talks about the switches and the aluminum build. So check it out.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.